Welcome to the Wider Talk Show. Today we have a litigation expert in Hyderabad who is my dear friend Ronak Daga. Hi Ronak, welcome to the show.
Hi Saivi, thank you so much. My pleasure.
So, we have started this show basically to educate people on the financial literacy part in terms of businessmen, startups, and entrepreneurs, and also people who are willing to pursue CA or who are already done a CA, whether he has some doubts on his career part or which part is going. That kind of ideology, we have started this show to educate them basically. So, my evergreen question, like why you started CA?
Why CA? I can say my father was my first inspiration for CA. So basically, it happened so that I was not good at math and science.
Okay.
So commerce was left. Then in commerce again, either it should be law, economics, or on the CA field or MBA. And then as a child, since we've been seeing dad getting the respect in the society, and how important is a CA for a businessman. So we all used to, as a child, we used to listen about that and aspired to be, but that was the main inspiration. But after CA, after qualification, I can say, I've seen the difference, like what actually CA means to the business community. And we play a very key role. It's not just compliance, as many businessmen feel it's compliance, but it's not just compliance. We are there from the right point of their inception of idea.
Correct.
So getting it on paper from their idea, taking care of all the legal challenges, and ensuring that idea converts into a good business. So yes, as CA aspirants, it is not just again compliance there. They have to look much beyond than what we come across.
So these days, when I was just checking stats, but I'm not very sure. So earlier the income tax rate was higher or lesser, or these days income tax rate is, people are telling it's very high when compared to other countries. But when you compare to other countries, it's also very less. Like, what is your take on this of comparing income tax rates like in early 1970s and early 2000s and now?
See, at the present scenario, different countries, as per their geographical conditions and the economical conditions, have a different tax rate. And India is much balanced now. It is not lesser on the lesser side, not neither on the highest side. But what if I say before 80s, if the tax was as high as 97% in India?
That was true.
It's true. It's an income tax fact. It's from an income tax portal where I've just come across some time back that the highest tax rate was 97%. Currently, I believe it is around 42 to 43%. I believe still that is much better when compared to the past. It has only been achieved because of the wider tax net and the right tax culture. We all should practically try to have a wider tax culture and a better tax culture going forward.
So can you just tell me how exactly is income tax eligible? Like who should pay income tax and why they should pay, some kind of analytics, so that generally a salaried return, they think TDS is a burden to them.
Correct.
But it's actually some much different what they think. So generally for a salary return, what exactly TDS is, and apart from that, why a person should pay income tax as per your knowledge?
See, in today's world, paying income tax is I can say a must. We can't escape, specifically after the UPI transactions and the digitalization of currency. Definitely income tax can't be escaped. But paying income tax also has various benefits. No, see, definitely salaried employees, they big hit. They're not allowed with expenses and again GST on part of it. But for a business community, they have the benefits of it as well. But paying income tax for a salaried, and it should be leveraged at some end. Going forward, definitely, I believe in times to come, government will look forward to that also. But it's a big advantage by paying income taxes. You have easy access to loan. You can see, ultimately a human being wants his house,
correct,
a stable lifestyle, for which paying taxes is a main criteria.
Correct.
You can't escape the eyes of government for long.
Correct. So in simple terms, can you explain TDS, what exactly TDS means for a salary return?
See, TDS is nothing but as good as I'm taking an advance from you and giving it to the department. And why was it brought into picture? Because let's say 1 lakh worth of salary was given to someone. He can escape it. He cannot give it. So what happened ultimately? The burden lies with the people who are only paying taxes. So the government has come up with something where TDS, tax deducted at source. So it's a withheld concept where if suppose 1 lakh rupees being credited to your account, 10% of it has to be withheld against your name, deposited with the income tax. You can anyway take a credit out of it later on.
Correct. That this is like basic logic which
It
anyone
is,
misses.
yes, it is only to get everyone in the tax net.
And then coming to these new age era of faceless scrutinies, people are generally panicking whenever get an income tax notice. Like if they get an income tax notice through registered post or through an email, generally the first idea or first tension a businessman thinks is like he will just be panicked, not understanding the various repercussions or various advantages or various disadvantages of particular getting a notice. So like how should a businessman react when he gets an income tax notice?
See, very first simple thing, it should not be an adverse reaction. So our take always is what as a firm, what we have done always is to first ensure we give the right support to the businessman. Say we are with you, make him understand the provision of law. Where has he gone wrong? Correct. So based on that, there are certain ways. Let's say in the assessment stage, if you have gone, if it is against you, you have appeal stage. If there still it goes against, you have ITAT where you can take it across. Then you have courts along higher court, then Supreme Court. So there's definitely a dispute resolution mechanism in place. But what one should not do is not panic and ensure he goes to the right professional. He's guided by the right professionals and does the minimal compliance what he has to do.
So can you tell us the difference between faceless mechanism and how it was earlier?
See, earlier it was more of a one-to-one explanation. So the advantage earlier used to be across the table. You can sit across and explain it to the concerned officer. See, every business has its own challenges and the way it is done.
Correct.
In faceless, it becomes little difficult because we can't express everything in writing.
So you have to speak in the video conference or something?
That option is there, yes. Because earlier it was completely on the written submission basis.
Okay.
That is now changed and an SSC can opt for a video conferencing mode as well, where he can explain his stand. So government is trying to bridge both across both the things.
So it will be like, for example, an ex-person gets an income tax notice, he will go to the right professional, he will understand the exact ideology of why exactly the notice has been issued, whether they have complied or not. Correct. And understanding this ideology, you need to explain to that respective income tax professional Correct. That this is the cause and this is the solution or this specific thing you should resolve. It is something like that.
Yes, we can take our stand always. We can make a plea always before them that yes, this is the main reason, and they would address to it. Provided, see, in a faceless, why the challenges have been seen recently, because everything takes time. It's a new setup. It's a new thing where you have to express everything in writing.
Correct.
And specifically in the mufsils and the two-tier cities, it is little difficult for everyone to accustom to it. Correct. So it's a time-taking process, but definitely it would be a new trend. Correct. And it's a new normal, I can say.
Yeah, but it is also very good because you need not get worried of how that he'll respond or something, because you do not know Correct. Him personally. You will just Correct. Express your view and you will just tell what exactly act is, what is your take up on it, and it is upon them to understand and get back Correct. To you. So actually government is doing good in this part because yes. You need not get worried about.
Yes. It's also towards ease of doing business. No, see, if you see it is much easier these days.
Hopefully GST also does the same thing.
We are hoping for the same. It should happen along.
And then coming to this particular scheme of VVS scheme or something, these are very good schemes which are being introduced by government so that people can declare some assets so that they need not get worried about undisclosed income. So these schemes are not very well known to public. So actually if a person who forgot to declare income or he missed by hook or chance, but he missed off exactly declaring his own income, then in that cases this particular scheme is very important and is very useful for many businessmen and many entrepreneurs. Correct. But they do not know because it is not being generally spread by many people.
Correct.
So through this particular show, if you can explain people who are seeing this, like what exactly is VVS scheme and how can they get benefited out of it?
Sure, sir. See, the main challenge what the government is trying to do now, it's not a challenge, but the challenge which government has along is to get as large number of people into the tax net. Correct. So what they are doing is they are coming up with various initiatives. If you may see since last couple of years, we are seeing a lot of information which government themselves are giving us in form of AIS and TIS.
Correct.
Where they are saying, see, we have this information,
Correct.
so kindly file it. So that's an initiative where they are trying to spread across non-filers and stop filers again.
Correct.
So overall, their idea is to get as many as number of people into the tax bracket. It is not necessary that they pay tax if they come in tax bracket. It is only that they become more compliant, and it ultimately affects the economy. It is better for the economy at a larger goal. As the tax rates reduced from 97% almost to 42, in times to come we can see a reduced rate of this thing. Coming to the litigation, see that the government has been working around in different forms. What they have done of late is they have got something called updated return.
Correct.
So they are giving opportunity to the SSE. First they are doing is AIS and TIS.
So like you tell us exactly what AIS, TIS is.
Yes. So AIS is nothing but an annual information statement, and TIS is taxpayers information statement, where income tax is, let's say your banking transactions were so and so. If you have purchased any property, you have purchased this property. Stock market, if you have invested, this is the stocks which you have sold or purchased. So based on this, you need to file your return.
So like you people cannot skip.
Yes,
Government knows everything.
Yes, it's like a warning. We are watching you.
Okay.
Still, if no one takes a step, then the consequences are very dangerous. So that is the stage. First stage is where they are giving information by themselves to close the issue. Then they are providing you opportunity by way of updated returns as well, or belated returns. They are extending the time for the same. Despite of all this, then you may have a litigation. Let's say you get a notice for scrutiny for a very basic thing that you have not filed your return. So there you get an opportunity to file it. If explained, it is removed again at that stage. Later on, if not explained, it can go to appeal or tribunal. So for that, again, government very recently has come up with this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme for 2024. It is 2.0. The first version had come in 2020 itself. Okay. So what now government is trying to do this. By the way, in the first version, you will be surprised to know that around 480,000 cases were closed, litigation cases, particularly where additions were made, were closed because of this scheme. So government, because of that success, now they have come up with this scheme again.
So like it is something, existing litigation cases, through that scheme, it will be resolved faster.
Yes, what it says is, let's say if you had a scrutiny, you had an addition there, so you would definitely go for an appeal.
Correct.
So it says, see, we understand you have done something wrong, you're going for an appeal. Now the only, why does no one, if they're going for an appeal, the major concern 90% of the time is interest and penalty. Okay. So government has said very simple thing, you pay only taxes. Okay. We will waive, we will give you immunity from interest and penalty. Okay. And the biggest part is prosecution. Okay. So you just pay the taxes, 100% of the taxes before 31st of December 2024. Post that there's a small increase of 10%. Okay. So once you have done with that tax payment, your litigation is closed once for all.
Okay. So like, is there any time limit or specific litigation cases are only eligible through this or something?
For this, mainly cases revolving around appeals, with CIT appeal, with the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, any 264 petitions which were pending are broadly covered. Okay. Interestingly, no cases related to search and seizure are covered. Okay. So let us see areas which are not covered. That is more critical. Search and seizure cases are not covered. Prosecution cases are not covered. Cases related to undisclosed foreign assets are not covered.
Okay. So that he cannot disclose.
And Benami issues, because these are
direct violations.
Yes. So these areas are not covered. Other areas, SSE, whenever he is when an order has been confirmed and wherever he is in an appeal stage, he can always opt for the scheme. Okay. And the window for this is 31st of December 2024. Okay. So basically it is divided into 4 parts. Form 1 is where an SSE makes a request that I want to end the dispute.
Case or something.
So he has to file it before 31st of December. Okay. Then within 15 days of Form 1, the designated authority, they have to issue Form 2 that, okay, we have accepted. They do the cross check and they issue you a certificate again, Form 2. Based on that Form 2, again the SSE has 15 days time to make the payment of interest, excluding the interest penalty for the dispute. Then Form 4 is issued after confirmation that total payment has been received.
Okay. So like it is something like this for the general public or something.
Yes.
If you have an case in CIT appeals or ITAT or even with appeals, you can just use this particular scheme and
Yes.
get rid of the unnecessary interest and penalty, and
Yes.
by paying taxes you will be free and that dispute will be resolved.
It's a win-win situation for both. No? For the government, the cost of the infrastructure cost involved in this litigation is on a higher side. Subsequently, for the SSE as well, time and the cost of litigation, you only pay the professionals.
Correct.
Ultimately, it's just 10 years, 15 years. We never know how long will it take. The peace of mind is not assured either.
Correct.
So this is a right way where we can end the litigations.
Okay. Actually, it's a very good initiative by the government.
Yes.
But like CA should actually tell about more about this to like all businessmen so that like they will be aware of this.
I believe that is happening around because being December now towards the fag end, the government is also promoting it a lot now.
Okay.
That is happening. Interestingly, let's say you have a bigger demand, which is not correct, which has come only because of calculation mistake.
Okay.
Or a mistake which is very apparent on the record. Then the very interesting fact to this is you can also request for a 154 petition where you ask them to revise the calculation. Based on that also you can go. So what better an SSE wants? And he wants to pay tax. 80% of the cases are very clear cut. Only 20% of it is based on law, which definitely we have to contest in the higher authority. But other majority of the cases, if there is no interest, there is no penalty, we feel it is the right opportunity to end the litigation.
Correct. So like the window for this is December 31st.
31st of December.
But they can still apply after that?
It depends on whether the government would extend it or not. As on today, it is only 31st of December 2024.
Okay. So
after that, if they opt, there's a small variation that 10% taxes would increase.
Okay. So like it also includes that 234 BC, ABC interest also, or that is different?
That is waived here in this assessment.
Okay, that is
Interestingly,
also waived.
all interest, all fee, all penalty. Penalty is only attracted when penalty assessment is confirmed against an SSE. Then you have to go for Vivatsa Vishwas even for penalty.
Okay.
But that is again 25% of penalty of the confirmed amount. So it is always a win-win situation.
Okay, great to know. I also got to know about this. And the next step, so like generally a person like had a tier 1 or a tier 2 city, he doesn't have very good knowledge on litigation. So for example, if he gets an 150 search or if he gets an seizure notice or something, he'll just be not knowing what to do. Like a businessman is different, a CA is also different because a CA and every CA might not be very good at every point. So like if he's good at GST or if he's good at filing returns, he might not be very good at income tax scrutinies or litigation. So here, like since I come from a tier 3 city, so like people there do not know exactly on how to deal things on an if they get some big demand for a big demand notice from income tax, they generally do not know what exactly needs to be done. For this, like we are also working on some tools in a rider where if you get an income tax notice, that our tool will analyze it and give you that this is a proper response which you need to give along with the related case study. Like that we are working on. But since you are like very good player in litigation in Hyderabad, some good advice to people who are working or in tier 3 cities who are working on litigation.
Firstly, a very good initiative actually. With the help of this tool, if you're able to educate, that is the first key step where we need to educate the SSE.
Correct.
So once the businessman is educated, in terms of the litigation, once he knows the law, then he will not make any mistake. He will do it the best way. It is only because he was not aware about that law or he was not well informed about the consequences of it. So correct. My basic advice is, as this if software is helpful, and the very basic thing is trust your advisor, trust your consultant, whoever it is. Put all the facts before him, trust him. He will definitely take it the best way.
And then like generally coming back to CA background or something. So like generally after completing the CA, some people will go to business of their if they are having a proper family business, they'll go to their business. But that is actually very good for them because they know in and out of everything of their business. Like not only from accounts, from as you told, from inception to operations to compliance, they know everything because everything is taught in a CA life. But a person who's just completed CA, he has majorly 3-4 different types of things which he should go. He should go to industry, or he should go to Big Four for an specific department, or he can put his practice, or a mid-sized firm. Like which ideology of person, where exactly he should go.
See, what I feel is the articleship period, which was 3 years earlier, 2 years currently, is mainly around giving you a knowledge area, a basic knowledge of all the areas. So post qualification, it is upon us to decide which area we are more interested into, then work towards it. Articleship is not enough. Certainly articleship is just to get you a basic idea. Post that, let's say if you're more interested in audit, join on an audit firm where you can learn more on it. Subsequently, you can divide 3 major broad ways: either get into business, join an industry, join a Big Four, or a mid-sized firm. Okay. So based on his interested area again. So business, definitely person who has done CA would be a best fit. If he has a family business, or if he can start his own, that would be nothing like it. Industries are very much acceptable for all the areas, so they have to tune themselves again to that particular spectrum. Big Fours again give you very wide opportunities into the audit, into the taxation, and all the areas. So it again depends. Like certainly 2 years is not enough, but you should give more. A couple of years, I personally feel is another 2-3 years after your articleship is also more important as a training in the area where you like. So get into it, then start your career. I feel the benchmark for our beginning of career should be that stage.
And like as you know, like we are developing some work automation tools and some kind of litigation management tools for chartered accountants. Like since I gave you a demo and you have yet to start like in this week, like how did you find about the tool and general feedback to the audience?
See, it's a very, very good tool. Firstly, I should appreciate the efforts which have gone into it. This was much needed in our industry or society, I can say, where we were more dependent on Excel. It was all manual. Traditionally, how it used to happen was in a very manual way or in a very interpersonal way. So having tools for setting it is something like an ERP for CA firms, I can say. Correct. Which we were missing in the industry. So once the ERP comes in, you can increase your volume, you can provide better service to the clients, and at the same time, you can give the best of what you have and utilize your human resource and your team to the best of your capabilities.
Correct. Like you can focus more on important things rather than following up on things.
Yes. Because if you see, majority of the time in a CA firm goes on follow-up.
Correct.
If this can be automated, if this can be brought into the system, nothing like it. You have abundant opportunity then to focus on your actual area of interest, what you're working for.
Correct. So like that is also primary vision of Wider, why we have started. So like if a CA is more focusing on businesses, operations, or like how his client works and how exactly he can put his efforts in streamlining his work or putting his compliance in a more better manner, in that he should be more focused rather than following up on things or following up on fees. That should not be the case. So that's why we have automated most of the things through our software.
No, it has come up really good. I should appreciate that. Since we've been seeing since the inception stage when the idea had come to you, then now how everything is framed. It had only happened because of your deep insightedness into the industry. And what were the lacunas, and you tried to plug in it.
Correct. Like I got many insights from you also.
Definitely.
So like most of the tool what we have built is not generally bought through my idea or something. We actually approached firms like you, understood the pain points where exactly you are feeling more problem, and that perspective only we started building tools around. So like if you look exactly our tool, our majorly all the main pain points of a CS are covered through our tool. Like it might not have very crazy outstanding features, but whatever are necessary are there in our tool.
Yes, it's an ERP for CA.
Correct.
Businessmen, all this time we were supporting all the businessmen through ERP. We were lacking something in our industry, and this is the right fit.
Correct.
And it can be customized again. That is an added advantage.
Like you're also putting standardized SOPs where based on your firm's ideology of working, you can implement in your firm itself, and it will make sure the work is done in a streamlined way. So like coming back to standardization of firm. So like generally what is happening in the general day-to-day life is a firm, a traditional CA firm, they are not very streamlined in their work culture. So like for example, when you go to an VC, what like these days it is changing, but before like 5-10 years ago, if you go to a VC for an investment fund or for a fund to raise, people generally tell you need to get audited by Big Four. But these days it is changing, I believe, because SOPs are coming into place. But generally, like since your firm is a legacy firm, like I think since 35, 40 years it is there. Earlier, streamlining of things was much difficult because people do not have proper knowledge, but you also had many works to do. There was no proper technology around, and you need to do follow-up of things. You need to put so much of your brain to understand things and come back. But these days, coming to AI, coming to our tools like Wider, you have very much changed. But still, for example, you're working on something. So, for example, a statutory audit or any assignment. You will have a proper standard of procedure of working. Like this is the first step to do, this is the second step to do, and this is a checklist, this is a milestone, and after completion of this you have to give it to your client as a deliverable. Correct. This is a proper streamlined work which is being already followed by Big Four and even very bit-sized firms like big firms. But these are coming by time, it is being implemented in many CA firms also. But how did you implement in your firm? Like, is that very hard to do, or like how exactly you have gone through that phase?
See, first our goal every day in our firm is, our vision I can say, is to give what best we can give to the client. Every day something better than yesterday. So that was the ideology always we feel is, let us be what best you can give. So thankfully I was lucky enough that Papa's dad has given me that opportunity. He gave me the freedom around. So what always Papa thinks is, give the responsibility to the next generation. Delegate it. So that was the key take, and what has helped us in the whole system is we got in more technology. We focused on two things mainly. One was technology, one was the right talent. So cultivating the right human culture is also very, very important. So we were first is technologically we were trying to upgrade wherever possible, whichever tools possible, and how to make things easy and correct to the client. Something like sending a real-time email. Once you return, what we have done, it's in 2020, what we have done is, as soon as the ITR is filed, client gets a copy of computation and ITR from our office immediately in the next second. So we were thinking how to make communication more better to the client. Same with the WhatsApp channels. We have done is, we have had our own WhatsApp channel where we are trying to educate client more. So with the help of technology, we were able to do that. So first thing is technology. Then coming to the human culture, what we have done is, what we always felt is having the right atmosphere inside the office is important. So every team member is not just a member of the team, but they're a part of our family. It is very much a family. So we only try to ensure that they gel amongst each other well. They just don't run behind any work in independent directions. Rather, they complete each other. So that was happening around, and we tried to frame all the SOPs mainly. For every service line of our, we were trying to create the SOP, standardized SOP. So that made everything in written. So everything documented. That made transition also easy. Existing work you're doing good, but for the newcomers or for the transition, if you have everything documented well, basically making it a process-driven organization. So that helped us really good to evolve around and provide the best of best service to the client, because that ultimately is the goal. If a small complaint comes, it is we can say it's a zero tolerance policy what we have.
So continuing further, like the major challenge of the second generation or a third generation is continuing the legacy of whatever your father, your grandfather has already built. So like that might be a very good challenge for you. So like you need to continue the legacy in a better way.
Indeed, that has become a benchmark. See, what happens generally is what our parents have done. So that becomes a benchmark to the clients again. So for me, yes, it is always a challenge, because what I've seen personally all this years is, dad had always given his best, 100% than what he could have given. He's always given more than that. So for us, it was not just business or clientele. So it was all more like a family thing, where we were, I can say, emotionally connected with the clients. So the service was top of the line and everything. Now the same is, it's a challenge for me, and I'm trying my best. It's still, every day is a challenge. I can't match to it, but I'm trying my best where I can at least say that, okay, somewhere I'm trying to cope up with what he has set up.
Like coming to my father also. So like my father is in a cement business. So like he's 63 now, but still even for a 10 bag customer calls, he will explain him what is the type of cement brand is, why exactly he should buy this. With very patience, 10 minutes he'll talk and explain, and he will take all of his time and explain to the person. Like he might not earn anything out of it, but in that age also he's still working. So like that much of patience, that much of knowledge, which I will like learn from him. So like that generation of people who are working hard, like who has already built so much of very big businesses, we need to learn so much from them.
100%. See, they are so self-made people, I can say, and they get satisfied with their work.
Correct.
What they are earning is secondary.
Correct.
What value they create to the customers is very much important for them. So that is exactly, I feel the same with dad here. For the smallest of small return, you'll be surprising to know that our first client was a tailor. Still, as on today, dad goes. We have a culture in the office that we drop every client till the gate.
Okay.
So it's been 35 years now. That client still visits us, and we drop them off till the gate. It is not that, see, it is a one-to-one person centric again.
Correct.
So it may be any work, the smallest of work or the biggest. It may be a normal salary return or the highest of litigation around. We try to give the same thing, and that has been coming only because of what benchmark our parents have created.
Correct. Like that generation, we have to match up.
It's a big challenge for us. We get energetic just after the case is closed or something has happened, then we feel, wow, we have done it.
We'll go to party or something.
Yes, and they enjoy in every hour, we enjoy in days. So that is a challenge where, yes, even we have to learn, and then we realize, no, parents have done that. So even we should come down to that
Correct.
per hour system and get on the next job.
So, to conclude, I just wanted to know how you get updated with the latest amendments, latest case laws, or latest learnings. How exactly you get updated, and how do you suggest our audience to get updated?
Learning and upgrading is a must in this industry, because every day we have to learn around. What I personally do is, there are again different areas, like let's say for direct taxes, we have to read cases which have come up in the whole week, and so we dedicate a day in a week where we try to learn around on the same. Particular day on preferably second half of Saturdays, where we see around which cases, how things have turned up. But coming to other aspect and changes of law and in the business circles, how do we do along? So I personally feel is we have a lot of technological data these days in hand.
We are
there are so
also
many libraries
building a
which we have
product
access.
around this.
Acha, Wider is coming up with this. Oh, that would be a great help, because today, see, we have to go to 10 number of platforms again to get across the knowledge, and then compile it. My only suggestion personally is always, like, what I do is subscribe to as many as channels as possible, where you get to learn, because you have to learn every day.
Correct.
And specifically, we also have to learn aspects of a business community again. Don't restrict yourself to the law. So what I personally also do is, whenever I'm free, I've subscribed to something called ET Grandmasters. So where you have good entrepreneurs who give their real life examples. So I try to take something from there, implement around wherever I can do it in the client scenario. Juggling around, basically.
Correct.
Attend as many as conferences. There are so many. These days we have accessibility to conferences, data, technical sessions. At click of a button, we have everything. So every day, yes, we have to learn. If the day we stop learning, it's the end of this profession.
There's an event conducted by ICI January 31st, WOFA. You are going there?
Mostly I'll be.
Okay. We are planning to put a stall there.
Oh, great. I'll catch up with you there. Yes.
Thank you for being in our show. Hopefully, we have educated enough on many things about financial literacy and many things about litigation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Saivir, and your entire team for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.